Okay, here we go. Dummies. I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to kind of go through it. I love the comparisons that are drawn in this paragraph that starts with, "We lived in a squat, crumbling yellow brick house." That it appealed to young couples, elderly people, addicts, and small business owners. Like, you couldn't get a broader swath of society right there. And I love the voyeurism of gathering around the car crash. That's the only entertainment that's happening in the neighborhood is pretty hilarious. It really continues to set this very almost like macabre tone to this story. It's very odd and unsettling. So mom disappears. I think that could be what it meant when the father said that they didn't exactly lose someone to like a fiery blaze, but a parent abandoning the family is like a catastrophic event. So that, you know, the fact that the daughter's acting out is like not strange at all. So everything starts to get explained when we hear that mom is living in Tampa. Let's see here. Dad's reaction to this charred piece of wood ventriloquist dummy is pretty hilarious. It seems that these points that he's making are very redundant. I mean, it doesn't even have a mouth or a face. Like, no kidding, it's literally a charred piece of wood. So you kind of get the feeling that dad has gone off the rails a little bit with mom's absence as well. Yes. Clutching Marilyn to her breast like some horribly burned infant. It's the themes, the almost irreverence of this whole story. It's funny and it's sad, and I think that's really what the author was going for here. When dad says that ventriloquists are annoying and nobody really likes them, I really felt like he was talking about his daughter in that moment. He says only the dimwits eat it up with a spoon because they're embarrassed. Really indicating that he's embarrassed of his daughter, because nobody should care that much about ventriloquism if it doesn't impact their life. That type of humor doesn't appeal to us anymore. It's very polarizing. Nobody will have the patience for some confused little kid with a burnt log for a freaking dummy. Yes, he's just mirroring everything back to his daughter. Repeating it doesn't even have a mouth or a face, so I like that. I like when an author comes and revisits something again. It really, to me, it draws me into the story. Him expecting Wayne to back him up is pretty hilarious, and Wayne's response is very tongue-in-cheek. I mean, he really is not on his dad's side here. As we know from reading the story, he's not necessarily on his sister's side either, but let's see here. Oh, well, Wayne's 9, so that makes sense. You two need to learn about cool. Oh, that's right. So dad is aging. He wants to still be cool. His wife left him, And he is really definitely taking it out on his kids, not understanding at all what they're going through. And I mean, it's so obvious to an outsider, right? So the author writing to us, it's so obvious to us, so obvious that I kind of just want to like reach into the story and shake the dad, you know? Her absence galled him. I bet it did. Wayne's perspective on this, becoming a watchdog for adult hypocrisy, is very interesting. Some kids really will react that way to difficult parental situations like he's in right now. He's a smart kid, though. She's taking a big risk with this log thing. It's just so funny. He's very deep into this grief of his mother leaving, calling him, you know, the archivist of her debris. So we get really good character development here. Even though it's a short story, you know, you really get a feel for Dad, who wants to keep being cool, but now he's a single father. Wayne, who's very sentimental and kind of caught in the middle of this, and Cassie, who has bonded with this charred piece of wood, and the descriptions of this charred piece of wood are just hilarious. I mean, the charcoal stains on, you know, the pillowcase. This author did a great job. He packed in so many details into the story that it's visceral. I mean, this is family drama. This could be any family who's going through this. Is just, you'd have to replace, you know, the log with some other acting out behavior. So I feel it's almost even a metaphor for that acting out that will happen sometimes just with this age group of teenagers, but especially when they're, you know, abandoned by their mom. Him trying to build connection with her with the gum is so sweet. He really wants to be friends with her, but he's 9. I mean, he's 9 and he's going through all of this, and I mean, honestly, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for all of them, even the dad, really, but he should be holding it together. On an intuitive level, I understood my sister's sorrow. On the other hand, I found ventriloquism weird and scary. Even at 9, I recognized the necessity of self-preservation. Goes into talking about kind of her descent. Again, with the packing in of details. This author is really focused on characterization. And then in this final section here, Wayne kind of snaps, and he is really rude to her, but I understand, you know, 9 is really young to try to hold it together, hold your family together, and he just kind of shucked it off. And it ends with, from that night until just now, I have been on my own, and so I would like to know what happened just now.